Today you're joining myself and Luke on the banks of Megan and Demi Lakes in 𝘃𝗶𝗀.
Yep, and we are here with good reason as well. To be honest, the fishing is secondary, but that doesn't mean we won't be fishing.
We are fishing already, by the way.
We are fishing.
Yeah.
But basically the main reason for us being here is we've been invited down by Angling in Mind.
Now this is a sort of charity / community that's been set up around May time, so it's still in its infancy. But as the name suggests, Angling in Mind, mental health, it's all about people that are maybe suffering from mental illness or just things like anxiety, depression, PTSD, all sorts of things like that. Mental awareness is rightfully becoming more and more well known in the public eye. It's often been a taboo subject, but pretty much everyone watching this, probably ourselves included, have come into contact with some kind of mental issues or suffered ourselves with it on some kind of spectrum. So it's something that does affect everyone.
Yeah, it's a really important subject that does need talking about, and there's a whole wealth of guys from different backgrounds here today that are keen to obviously voice why they're here, how angling's helped them, and how Angling in Mind has stepped in as well.
Definitely. So we've all had our personal experiences. We've just come out of a pretty tough time with lockdown and things, and I think everyone that's in the fishing world and wider know that cabin fever is a pretty horrible thing, and everyone was needing a bit of space to get out, and when fishing was relaxed, it did so many thousands of people the world of good, and that's certainly the case for everyone here. And some of these people aren't just suffering from the lockdown issues we had with cabin fever, it's much more. So we're going to have a walk around, chat to some of the anglers here, find out a bit about them and how, like Luke said, it's helped them getting on the banks.
So fishing for me, it gives me a focus and a sense to concentrate on what's happening in front of me rather than what's happening inside. It helps keep the gremlins out of the way, so that's really nice. But I suffer from PTSD and I have a disability, 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲𝗃 disease. So while I can do it, I'm doing as much fishing as possible. I normally go 3 nights at the lake, 3 nights at home through the summer months, and then back end of this month I'll be stopping fishing for the winter because I just can't do it anymore. The cold and that, it affects my body. So yeah, winter months spent at home, rig making, cleaning, so I've still got focus. I had quite a lot go on in life a few years ago, and getting out fishing, it makes me socialise, and everyone's the same. We're all equal. The fish don't know what you got on the bank or anything. So tackle-wise, you don't have to be a tackle tart. It's the whole focus, escapism from life. And like I say, you got the social aspect where you got friends, you come and meet. Glenn invited me along to be here today, which is nice because we've all got our own problems, but it's really relaxed, it's really calm, and yeah, we're all equal. We all got problems, but they're pushed aside when you're fishing. It's just fishing talk. And I'm Gary next to me. I've never met the bloke, spoken to him, like we've known each other for years, and you get that in the fishing community, whereas you don't find that kind of in a pub or anywhere. And you're always learning. Every time you're out, something new, something different, maybe a new knot, a different rig or whatever. And that's what today is. It's like a social, bring people together and just be normal and not have to worry about what's going on in the back of the head. It's difficult sometimes, but you get on the bank and like I say, everyone's equal. We're all friends, we've never met, and getting on like a house on fire. So yeah, it's cool. And Angling in Mind and Steve organised today, and it's a different experience. And I spoke to Glenn and I said when we go back to Cambridge, we're going to see if we can hold an event like it on the club water up there and move it out of London and bring it into East Anglia. So that's our mission next, is to swing it, see if we can get everyone on the bank somewhere different.
How angling's helped me is it's my place of solitude. With the hectic lives we lead and the stresses and expectations that are put upon us, it's just this place to, it's my place, it's a place to recharge and reflect on things really. When you come across a place like angling or charity like Angling in Mind, you meet people with who have the same stories as you, gone through the same down in life, really. And when you have a community like that and a community like you have in fishing, it just gives you a good feeling, really, that there are other people that share the same experiences as you. And just makes you feel a whole lot better that there are nice people out there.
Angling in Mind is a new group that I've come to terms with through social media, Facebook. I've been asking ex-military veterans what pages I can join to go carping and socialise with those when I come out of the Air Forces. Kind of lost all the camaraderie and back into civil life where you don't have that comfort of having everyone around you. Going back into office jobs and what have you, it was become the norm, and it was getting us down. I had nowhere to go, nothing to do, and gambling came in the picture, where basically I'll get wages on my break, on my lunch, to do so, to get away from people, listening to people, complaints, etc. And then I would feel utterly ill afterwards because of guilt, and I would actually ring in, say I'm not feeling too good, so I would lose wages then. And then it was 2015, my dad said, notice a change in us. He says, look, let's go fishing, get away from society, get away, just me, you, father-son time. And since then, I've never looked back. I've changed who I am, changed the gambling. I've now got something to look forward to. Got a family, got a 5-year-old who loves fishing, who comes. Obviously he's called Harry, so I've got myself, my dad, and Harry to go fishing, and it gives us a purpose to not go down that route again and to feel free. For those people out there who have gone down that route, I just want to say that you're not alone. Angling's not for everyone, but there is help out there. You just need to make a phone call to the doctor, to your family member, to a friend. They'll pick up the phone, say I need help, whatever it is, or just a chat, and just do it. Get out there, go for a walk, go for a drive. Everyone's going to feel different every day. Just make that phone call and you'll see the difference at the end of the week. Speak to your work colleagues, speak to anyone who needs help. If you see a friend change, take them out for a drink, or give them a hug. Give them a hug, just talk to them. I never had that growing up, so having that now has made me realise what I missed, and it's a bit like sorrow, you can feel it. Sorry, this is real, There's so much stigma out there about depression, anxiety, and it's not real. I felt like that a few years ago. He's not. He can work. He can do this. He can do that. Yeah, they can, but deep down, when you wake up in the morning and you really want to go to work, but you haven't got the energy, and you ring in 4 or 5 days in a row, which I have done, and then comes to the point where sorry, your service is no longer required, and then you go back into that rigmarole and stigma of you can't get out of it, and then that's where it all goes. That's when your family can come into it. But when it comes to the fishing side of it, it's helped massively, in a sense if you can take yourself out of that busy world of ugliness and just see nature as it is. People next to you on the next peg don't judge you, don't look down to you, talk to you for the person that you are and help you, and at the end of it you get friends. Like, it was only 3 months ago I was in deep crisis, and then I found this angling in mind, and I'm sitting here now with you gents and other gentlemen and ladies that are going through the same as me, all talking about our problems, and I know fine well travelling home tomorrow I'm going to feel so much better. I can go into the house on Saturday morning, hug the bairns, and knowing that I'm going to have a good weekend.
I've been fishing now probably about 45 years. Last 8 years I've got into carp fishing, but I've done match fishing, etc. And it's just so peaceful. It doesn't matter whether you catch or not. It's the idea is just being out, relaxing, chilling out, and just enjoying your surroundings. Nice to fish a different lake. This is sort of like 2.5 hours away from where I come from this morning. It's a different place, nice lake. So yeah, it's all about enjoying your surroundings, and if you catch a fish, it's a bonus. And the bigger the better, of course.
So I like fishing because it gets me away from sort of technology and the pace of life, being at home and work and everything. And I think being by the water and around nature and just the wind and it's today and trees, I think just helps to calm me down. It helps me sort of recenter and refocus and just gather my thoughts and just get everything a bit more in order. And I think with Angling in Mind, it's a great community, and I think it's a sort of a safe place for people to talk about everything. So about fishing, but also about their sort of well-being, how they're feeling. And I think particularly for a lot of people on the group, it's a place where they can go to now to sort of say, actually, I'm not feeling okay at the moment. And there's always plenty of people that are, my inbox is open, let's have a chat. So it's a really, really good place for people to go and share and in a really safe environment, which is really important when it comes to mental health, and particularly, let's be honest, with men and men of middle age, where they find that a bit difficult to talk about typically, and then bottle stuff up. But what I found with Angling in Mind is that isn't the case. I think people are really happy to talk, and coming here today and meeting a load of other guys that have all suffered with various mental health problems, from mild but through to quite severe. Everyone's quite open and as comfortable being as open as they want to be, but there's no kind of taboo, which is great because that's what it's all about. You find when you talk about it, it helps, and that's sometimes enough medicine.
So we've just got back to our swims after having a good walk around and a good chat to everyone. And as you can see from the few stories that we've put up previously, angling and Angling in Mind has been a massive help to a lot of people. Now, we've got more stories to go into in a little bit, but for now, we're going to get the rods out. We've got a couple of hours. There's a nice barbecue in, well, a couple of hours' time. So fingers crossed, if we don't get a quick bite, then we'll have a bite later on.
Cheesy. Now, we also spoke to Rod, who's just down the bank from us. Now, he doesn't actually suffer from anything himself, but he does work in the industry and sort of a bit more surrounded in the whole mental health awareness scene, if that's the right word. So he has a bit more of an understanding of the whole topic and comes at it from a different angle from perhaps everyone else that's here. So we headed down there and had a little chat with him on camera as well.
I've worked in mental health for Mind for probably 15 to 18 years now. doing befriending, you know, with depression, schizophrenia, bits and pieces like that, and then supporting them through hard times, getting them a social life. One gentleman, he's gone from no friends, no life, just sits in his flat on his own, to a journey where he's got married, he's got divorced, he's part of the church, he goes away on holiday probably once or twice every month, and he's got a massive social network. And just to see that smile and just show him the way, show him the route, put the support framework around him, gives me great satisfaction. It's something I care passionately about. And then following on from that, I gave up my job full-time with BT. Been with them 30 odd years as a senior project manager. The planets aligned, and I was fortunate that I could leave and then extend the work in mental health. So I looked at charities that dedicated their time and their resources to that, and there was one that kind of struck close to my heart around autism, epilepsy, which was a charity called 𝘃𝗶𝗀𝗲. It's a registered charity. So I've been working on and off there as a relief worker when they need me for probably 3.5 years now, 3 to 3.5 years. And then Angling in Mind came along probably in the last 4 or 5 months, and I'm now getting involved with that and the ladies and gentlemen around the lake. Some of the stories are fairly saddening, but again, it's about building a social network, putting a support frame around them, someone they can call at 2 in the morning. My phone is always on. It's a like-minded passion, angling, and it's also, you know, we're reaching out to people who may be suffering with mental health but know nothing of fishing, and possibly showing them a route to something that may be calming and healthy for the mind. So it's open not to just fishermen, but anyone who wants to get into it or even wants to try for it. So to aid that, you know, we've started off now, people have kindly donated second-hand gear and some brand new stuff just the back of their shed or whatever, which we're going to use for that cause, so that we've got some equipment that we can share out, and also looking for donations for registered charities with like-minded people who suffer with autism and bits and pieces like that, to see whether they like the sport, get them involved as well via a charity. We haven't named that yet. I don't know who that will be, but it'll be a group decision at the end of the day. So yeah, that's a bit about me, Rod Ship. Yeah.
So as you can see, quite interesting hearing his viewpoint from someone coming in from an outside point and getting involved with Angling in Mind. He saw it from an outsider's point of view and saw the scope that it had within the angling world. Now, we also had quite an interesting conversation with him off camera as well.
Yeah, we did actually, and it's amazing how many anglers actually suffer with mental health issues. He estimated from working out the percentage of how many people have mental health issues within the UK to the percentage of anglers, it worked out that it could be about 750,000 anglers. Now that is obviously a lot of anglers, and that is just a rough figure, but it could be a lot higher because a lot of anglers do go angling because of their mental health issues. So because of the benefits to being out amongst nature, it could be a lot higher than that.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you think of the demographic of angling, it's predominantly a male-dominated sport. Typically older people as well, I say middle age, and that is unfortunately statistically quite a dodgy age for blokes to be with mental health disorders, because they bottle it up. As blokes, we tend to keep things in, not talk about it, but some reason when you go fishing, and this is another part of the conversation we had, is that those barriers you have between people in day-to-day world, you just wouldn't think of talking about certain subjects, but for some reason when you're angling, you're like-minded people, you've all got the same mindset when it comes to fishing. You can walk into a complete stranger swim and be there for a good hour or two and talking about some pretty in-depth and sometimes emotional things that you wouldn't dream of talking about to someone you'd met in the pub for example.
Now, I don't know if you can see, but it must be that time. We're getting ushered over. So let's go and have a barbecue, have a social, and then we'll put the rods back out later for the night.
Guys and Kelly, ladies. Right, we've got 2 raffles going this evening. We've got the £10 raffle and the £5 raffle. In the £10 raffle, we've got 4 carp rods. We've got some Nash baits, a bivvy, and a bed chair. And also, the guys at CARPology, Joe and Luke, have kindly donated a subscription.
There's 2 up for grabs.
Oh, there's 2 up for grabs, sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
one
one
of them's going to
Young Phoenix.
Young Phoenix.
There was 2, but there's a young lad who the members know here that he's and Richie knows as well. The member of our club, his son was knocked over, and it was touch and go, wasn't it, guys? He's lucky to be alive. He's going through massive rehabilitation at the moment, and he needs all the support he can get. But he loves his angling, right? He absolutely loves it, and we can't wait to see, even if he comes down in his wheelchair, we can't wait to see him back on the bank. So one of the subscriptions is going to him, and the other one is going with the carp stuff.
482.
Oh, you're joking. I'm going to take, it's me, I'm going to take the free Sonic rods, but I'm going to donate them to an autistic charity that gets young lads back on the bank.
Yeah.
So yesterday evening was really good fun. We had the barbecue, had a bit of social, and that ran well into darkness. So me and Joe were both shipping the rods out when it was pitch black, and it feels like we start these morning pieces pretty much the same every single time. Not a lot happened.
Yeah, at least for us anyway, and I think it's pretty much the story around the whole lake. It is a good stock of fish in this lake, but with this many rods out in such a short space of time, I think it's just pushed the fish away to wherever they can hide, really. It did do a couple of fish in the early hours, I think like 2, 3 in the morning, and then the heavens opened.
Yeah.
Biblical rain came down for a good hour or 2, so it's the first time we've been able to get out and get the cameras out for the morning piece.
But we've got a couple of hours left. The rods are going to be out for that time, and for the meantime we're going to overlay a few of the stories again that we heard yesterday.
Okay, so with myself, I'm ex-army, so I have issues with PTSD from Afghanistan. I spent quite a long time out there. I was in Afghanistan in total of 9 years, and Iraq before that. For me, angling's like my release. The day-to-day life that I lead with work and everything doesn't give me the time to sit down and focus back on what events have happened in the past. And sometimes it builds up to a point where you need a release, and I find that fishing is that release. I can sit down on a lake, gather my thoughts, just take my time, and I haven't got the pressures of the outside world. So I find that this is the most easiest way for myself to relax, overcome things that have happened in the past, and just enjoy being outdoors all the time. I'm part of Phoenix Heroes as well, which myself and one of the other guys that's here today, and they do a lot for PTSD with veterans, and what they've done is they've brought a group of carp fishermen together, and it's just a great way for all of us like-minded people to get together, sit on the bank, talk to each other, and it's doing it while it's doing a hobby that we all enjoy doing. So angling massively helps mental health issues beyond what people would imagine. Just the being together with people that suffer the same sort of things as yourself, and to be able to do a hobby that everyone enjoys, it's priceless, absolutely priceless to us. I've come down here today for Angling in Mind, another great charity organisation for people with mental health issues. I've travelled down from Wigan, a long journey down, but again, well worth it, just to be and to help other people who may be going through tough times. And the best part about it is I'm here fishing. That's it.
Yeah, angling has really helped me over the years. I suffer with anxiety and I've got ADHD, so concentrating can be quite difficult. So coming fishing, I'll just focus on the fishing. My head isn't focusing on everything else that it would normally be focusing on. So yeah, it's just my way of escaping like all the chaos. And yeah, it calms me down, makes me feel happy. Yeah, well, I know Wayne. I've known him for like probably about 25 years, and he got in touch when he was setting it up, and like I joined the Facebook group and stuff like that. But it's nice having like a little community of people that are all got the same things happening in their own different ways. And like just being able to relate to people that are going through like the same sort of stuff is quite reassuring that you're not the only one out there, and like you're all enjoying the same sport for the same reasons.
Yeah, so heard about Angling in Mind through Facebook. And Steve messaged me about this event they're doing today for mental health. It's not far from me, so he said to see if I fancied it. So I've come along. I think it's quite good what they're doing in the group. It seems to be growing quite fast. A lot more people joining. Hopefully this sort of event will become annual. Kind of do it more often, maybe even twice a year if possible. Yeah, fishing for me kind of helps me just get out of the house and just clear my mind a bit, really, a bit of peace and quiet, away from the kids, away from the missus, just relax. Yeah, it's just nice to just get out and be out in a bit of peace and quiet, I suppose.
I joined Angling in Mind. I found it through a different Facebook page, and they've helped me get into carp handling. They helped me get the gear that I needed for today's event. It also helps me de-stress, and I just started pleasure fishing when I couldn't work due to lockdown, and I was feeling myself getting depression, and then it's helped me really a lot. This is my first ever carp event that I have done, but I usually pleasure fish with other people with mental health issues and disabilities like that, and it just helps me socialise with people on my level.
Good afternoon, guys. My name's Eddie. Obviously got a northern accent, however, lived down in England for over 37 years now. Spent 23 years in the British Army. So on and off for my 23 years in the Army, I was fishing, not fishing, fishing, not fishing. Got big into match fishing, so unfortunately I had to give that up. So when I left the Army in 2010, the fishing became a passion again. It was one of those things where I had lakes all around me, very, very good lakes to that as well. And coming from an Army background, fishing was my escapism. It helped me to deal with stress, helped me with getting away from everyday issues, problems, and just coming in, sitting in the bank in a lake, I was able to have a thought process, put my thoughts together, and from that there I've joined a charity, Angling in Mind, and also the Phoenix Heroes. So with the Fearless Heroes, they help ex-servicemen who suffer from PTSD, stress and any of the problems that they come into. And I've been invited here today to fish this event for Angling in Mind. And without fishing for more than 3 weeks at a time, I do get a bit snacky, do get a bit, I wouldn't say aggressive, but I think it is the biggest escapism I have. Even though sometimes I don't want to go fishing, I force myself to go fishing, and it helps me relax. Even though it can be stressful when you're not catching a fish, it's one of these opportunities you can get to come out, wildlife, meet new friends. Everyone on the lakes has got the same attitude in mind. They're there for fishing, so you've got a common get together with people you never met before. And most of the people on this lake I've never met before on this event. Okay, I've met Steve and Phil before. We fished here 2 weeks ago, and it's like one of those things that gives you time to relax, chill out, meet new friends. And I think having a support network, you can help, ask for help. And I think that's the biggest thing with people who have mental health issues, especially in gents, is getting out there and asking for that help. We all are brave, we're all tough, but deep down inside, if you need help, ask for it, because before you know it's too late and you're down that slippery slope. So guys, if you're fishing, if you're watching this and you have got issues, don't stress about it. There's people there you can help, especially the Angling in Mind.
Well, angling is I don't not fish. Everybody knows that I don't not fish, and you're away from everything. You know, all the hustle and bustle of life is just too much sometimes, and it's not. In modern days, it's got even worse. I just feel that I'm really lucky that when I was 10, my dad took me fishing, because otherwise I'd be probably in a mess. You know, what would I be doing? Do you know what I mean? Just trying to get on in this world without a release. And like I said, I don't not fish, because I just have to, even if it's just to go down there and have a night underneath the stars, you know, feed the robin, and all that sort of thing. It's not just about putting the fish on the bank, it's just about recovering your body from work, your mind from work, you know, and well, I don't know what I'd do without it, you know.
Well, the time has now come to bring the rods in, unfortunately, and it's been pretty quiet for us, but hopefully the rest of the guys that are staying on for the rest of the day get into a few fish. But we're going to head over to where we had the barbecue yesterday for one last little gathering, get a few photos of everyone around the sign and everything, just one final goodbye for a few of us that are going to be heading on a bit earlier.
Yeah, I think one of the key things to take from this video, from this session, is that although we are here to catch fish, it really is secondary to the main reason. And it's been really nice. I've had a quick walk around earlier, seen all the guys on the bank chatting together. This time yesterday they didn't know each other, and here they are, they're making friends, making connections, and it really is a nice community. And I don't know about you, but it's been one of the harder videos.
Yeah,
it has been the hardest video.
Yeah, we
both
had to film. Talking last night that it was quite emotional filming some of the testimonies, and that's just what we got on camera. We had conversations with people off camera, and yeah, it was quite a deep day actually, which I wasn't expecting when we came here. It's a real eye-opener, and it really does show how fishing as a whole and organisations like Angling in Mind really do help out a lot of people. So it's well worth supporting charities like that or organisations, and obviously we'll list all the details at the bottom of the screen so you can get in touch. And I think it's worth saying that if there's anyone that you've come across, one of your friends, if they go a bit quiet, something like that, just try and get them to talk, or at least show that you're there for them, because I think, again, we've realised that the stigma of males of our sort of age, middle-aged males, they don't want to talk. So, but
it's events like this that shows how important it is and how much of a difference it can make to people.
So not only if you come across one of your mates that's gone a bit quiet, and maybe check up on them, but yourself as well. Don't just shut up shop and push everything away. Talk to someone, whether it's a friend, family member, or get in contact with Angling in Mind, because this has been testament to just how welcoming they've been. The raffle last night, the giveaways, everyone is just here to help each other. No one's above anyone else, everyone's here for the same reason. So if you need a bit of help, do not hesitate to get in touch with someone.
So yeah, we hope you've enjoyed this video. Obviously it is a little bit different to our normal style of in-session video, but it's probably one of the most important videos that we've ever made and will do for the near future.
Definitely. See you again soon.